Hello, my name's Charley Boorman and What Car have very kindly asked me to review a few vans. Now this one is the Ford Transit Courier. Now it's one of the best-selling vans in the country alongside the Ford Transit, and this one is the new model. So interestingly, this Ford Transit Courier is based on the Ford Puma. Now they wanted to do that because they wanted to make this van feel much more like a car that has space and that can carry stuff. So it'd be really interesting to see what it does drive like. So it has some pretty hefty competition with models from Citroën, Peugeot and Volkswagen, and they're all competing for a very popular space. Now this one has become bigger, better. Is it better? Well, we'll just have to find out. So let's go on a little journey of the new Transit Courier. Right, well, I'm sitting on the wrong side of the van, as you can see, but this model is so new that it's one of the first in the country. But I'm sitting here and I really like the position of the cab. It feels a bit like a car. I mean, you could be in a Ford Focus now, really. The steering is really nice. This has a heated steering wheel as well, which is really nice. Heated seats as well. But the steering was really nice. It's really positive. It feels just like a car. So where you sort of point it, it goes. And the ride is nice. I mean, bearing in mind, you know, it's still a van, so it's never going to be as comfortable as potentially a Ford Focus, and that you're never going to get the same kind of load capacity that you have in this one. But it feels really nice. I have to say, I like the position. So as you can imagine, there are lots of different versions of this. There's petrol, there's diesel, fully electric. If you're spending a lot of time in the city, maybe the electric one makes sense. The one that I think is probably the best all-rounder would be the 1.5 diesel engine. That has a really good power. It can carry a lot of weight. It can pull a trailer really well. So that's the one maybe you should have a think about. So on the slight negative side, I think it does have a little bit of roll and pitch in the corners, especially when it's empty. That obviously gets a bit better when there's a bit of weight, but that's the same with all vans. You know, some of its rivals handle a little bit better, so you know, that's something to think about. Also, when you're choosing an engine, you know, either diesel, petrol, or electric, have a think about the smaller petrol engine and consider how much weight you're going to be using, because you know I think that one would probably run out of a little bit of puff if you've got a heavy load. Right, so I've been driving this for a little bit now. This is a manual gearbox, which is always nice anyway, but it has a really nice 6-speed gearbox. The gears you go through the gears very easily. You know, it's a very natural thing. You don't really have to think about it. And the clutch is very light. So if you're going to be spending a lot of time in the van, you know, especially in traffic, it's gonna be very nice on your left leg. I've been sitting in this driving position for a little while now, and I can imagine spending quite a bit of time in here. The whole thing seems very easy to drive. You've got a little armrest in the center here, which helps, and it doesn't get in the way of being able to change gears, which is nice. So it's a relaxed feeling. It would be nice maybe to have a little bit more support from the seat, but it's quite firm, so I think that would probably help. But on a long journey, you know, it's a 6-speed gearbox, so you know, when you get it up into top gear and you're cruising along the motorway and stuff, you're going to get good fuel consumption. It has a very nice display. When you look at the display just down in front of you, it gives you all the information that you need, and it gives it to you in a very nice and easy visibility. And again, it has all the buttons on the steering wheel to be able to control everything, so that you don't have to take your hands off the steering wheel. So very nice. So we're talking about what you get when you buy one of these, and what the instrument panels are like, and how are they to use. I mean, personally, I would like to see a little bit more of the dials and buttons, rather than having to go up. So if I want to warm up the car, I need to go to climate, and I need to change everything by hand on, and it can be a bit fiddly as you're going along. But having said that, all the information that it offers you is actually very nice. You can see it all, which is good. Especially the display, which is right here in front of you, gives you enough information and exactly what you need as you're driving along. So in that regard, it's actually pretty good. The build quality, you can see, is really nice. They've obviously spent a bit of time to really thinking about it. So you have the different types of plastic here. I like this kind of bit of trim finish. So it's different plastic here it is to here. It's got that piano black plastic on here, which everybody seems to like so much. And what's nice as well is you've got this lovely leather steering wheel, and it feels like they've made an effort to make it feel well built and expensive. That's the feeling I get. So they've really brought it up to what you come to expect from a car, and why wouldn't you want all the luxuries from a car in a van? If this is your business, you spend a lot of time in here, and why not make it nice and easy and comfortable to use? So it makes total sense. It does have limited storage, I would say. There are a couple of drink holders, but they're down here. To me, it doesn't seem as good as maybe some of the other rivals. There is a place to put your phone. There's USB ports and stuff to be able to charge them, and there's a place here as well, a handy place for you to be able to put a phone mount to clip it onto here and have your phone close by, which is a good thing. That's a nice touch. What's nice as well is that you can actually get this seat back and forward quite a lot, so there is quite a lot of legroom. There's a lot of headroom here. I could probably get my helmet on here and actually ride here and still have plenty of room, or your 10-gallon cowboy hat as well. Could be doing that on the way to a little bit of a bar and a bit of line dancing. But otherwise, it's nice. Despite being slightly smaller than a lot of the other competitors, this still really does carry a lot of space, but there is no real getting away from the fact that some of the other vans do have more space, more carry capability. But I think if you're working in the city or for a business, I think there is plenty of space and plenty of adapting that could go on here to be able to suit anybody's business. So what's nice about this as well is that the bulkhead here doesn't encroach on the load space of the van, and as well as that, as you can see here with this box, it's lashed down very nicely, but there are lashing points everywhere, and there are possibilities everywhere of being able to customize the inside here. Anyway, just in case anyone's wondering, no, this is not a body. It's a box full of 200 kilos of sand, just to represent what it can carry and how that effect has on the van. You hardly notice it, to be honest. Right, well, as you can see, I don't think I'm going to quite get this motorbike into here, but if you've only got one vehicle, it's great to have a vehicle that is adaptable and that you can use it for different things. When Ewan and I went off for our adventures, we carried everything that we needed on our bike, but with the support crew loosely following us behind, with an extra cameraman and all the camera gear that comes with that, something like this would be brilliant, because you can carry pretty much anything you want with it, except my motorbike. So it all comes down to price and competitiveness and where this van sits amongst all the others, and really it sits in a really good place. It's pretty much priced right down there. It's undercut some of the competitors. It's really good value. As well as that, it comes with lots of safety kit, which is really important, and all of it comes as a base level, and then you can build on that. So you're very nicely well protected. So the Ford Transit Courier. Well, I have to say, it's a good looking van. It's really versatile. It's going to be really popular. I think the price tag on it is really competitive compared to a lot of its competitors. You can configure it into whichever way you want. There's an electric version coming quite soon next year, so that's going to be absolutely brilliant. I'm sure that's going to work really well. So on the whole, I think that they really ticked all the boxes that you would want out of a small van for a smaller business, and maybe something urban. I think there's a couple of things, which they could do a little bit better. One is that there's a lack of places to put stuff, which is, if you're spending a lot of time in the van, that's what you want. And the other thing as well is I found that there aren't enough physical buttons and dials, which makes it much harder to be able to turn your fan on or whatever you're doing. You're left with a touch screen, which is a little bit difficult to use. Would you buy one? I think I would buy one. I think it's a comfortable van. I think it really does what it says on the tin. It feels a bit more like a car, so it really does work. I'm really impressed. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see more videos and all sorts of information, go to whatcar.com.